Greetings on behalf of the Planning Accreditation Board, or PAB. This is the third module in a series provided online to help prepare you for your role as a member of a site visit team. As we go through this video, you may stop the presentation at any time and resume at your convenience. Throughout this presentation, we encourage you to write down questions that come to you. If your question is not answered or you are confused about something in this video, please contact PAB staff and they will get back to you with an answer. In addition to the training modules, the PAB website has several valuable manuals and additional resources for site visitors. Please read these manuals and review these resources prior to your visit, as they will refresh your memory of some of this information and provide more detailed information than we can share in this video.
In this module, we will examine in detail the criteria outlined in Standard 3 faculty. The faculty standard and its criteria are intended to ensure that planning faculty are qualified, able to deliver the program, engaging with students, and given resources to develop professionally. Accreditation standards are critical factors used to assess program quality and success. Each standard is supported by multiple criteria that provide specific detail on relevant aspects of the standard itself. Assessment of compliance is done at the individual criterion level. In the context of PAB standards, program faculty are broken down into 3 categories. Full-time in planning unit are tenured, tenure-track, and non-tenure track faculty hired with a multi-year contracts, employed full-time with a primary appointment in the planning unit. Part-time in planning unit are tenured, tenure-track, and contract factor from other academic departments in the university who teach core courses required for the planning degree, courses in other departments required for planning specializations, and/or courses in other departments taken as an elective by a critical mass of planning students. Adjunct and other instructional faculty are not employed full-time by the university, who teach specific courses on a course-by-course basis. Faculty within these categories may be referred to by a variety of titles, such as professors of practice, professors of teaching, lecturers, etc. Group faculty interviews during a site visit will be split into 4 groups: full-time tenure track, full-time tenured and contract, full-time part-time faculty, and adjuncts. The program shall employ a sufficient number of qualified, productive, and engaged faculty members to effectively pursue program goals and achieve the objectives adopted in its strategic plan. Among the foremost responsibilities of the program are to reject discrimination and to advance diversity and culture of inclusion among the faculty. There are 7 criteria within the faculty standard. Let's address each one in turn. As with the previous standards, we will review the language of each criterion and the rationale behind it. In addition, we will discuss challenges programs may face in meeting these criteria. The examples are meant to illustrate situations that might be red flags for site visitors. They're not intended to serve as strict definitions for lack of compliance. Faculty quality is the first criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This first criterion relates to the educational and professional backgrounds of the planning faculty. Faculty quality is judged by a relevant mix of educational credentials, including accredited degrees in planning, Ph.D.s in planning, degrees in appropriate related fields, and professional experience in planning and related fields, including AICP certification. Taken as a whole, the faculty must be qualified to serve the mission, goals, and objectives of the program related to teaching, research, and service. A challenge to meeting this criterion could be if none of the faculty have professional experience or degrees in planning. Faculty diversity is the second criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. Since applicable law or institutional policy may dictate how faculty diversity can be defined and what can be done to achieve it, PAB expects programs to define their own strategic goals and approaches for achieving faculty diversity within those constraints. This criterion places emphasis on the program's commitment to achieve diversity in its faculty. Consistent with applicable law and institutional policies, in its strategic plan, the program should provide a definition of diversity and set clear goals to achieving the kind of diversity that it considers appropriate. As stated in the criterion, diversity is an inclusive concept which encompasses but is not limited to race, ethnicity, class, gender, age, sex, sexual orientation, ability, educational attainment, first-generation status, spiritual beliefs, creed, culture, tribal affiliation, nationality, immigration status, political beliefs, and/or veteran status. The site visit team may not use demographic breakdown tables in determining the program's compliance. Programs may be limited in providing data, but it is upon them to explain their specific context. Tip: whenever DEI is mentioned, keep in mind the strategic plan shall include the program's definition of diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice, and the goals and measurable objectives aimed at achieving them. Faculty size is the third criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion deals with the size of the faculty who are involved in the degree program under review. The program must have enough faculty so that the program can be administered effectively, fulfill its teaching mission, serve students appropriately, and continue to advance its strategic goals. Full-time faculty are expected to teach required courses primarily, while no set number of faculty are required to meet this criterion. PAB requires that programs have no greater than a 15:1 undergraduate student to instructional faculty ratio, all on FTE basis, and a 10:1 ratio of graduate students to instructional faculty, again on FTE basis. This ratio is based on a full-time teaching load of 4 courses per year or 12 credit hours. To determine if the ratio is in compliance, look at the program's definition of a full-time teaching load and compare their ratio to the table above. It is also possible that such a definition varies for different types of faculty within the same program. In that case, please note the variation, and the PAB board will determine compliance on a case-by-case basis. Challenges to meeting this criterion could be if there are no full-time faculty teaching required courses within the curriculum. Enrollment has increased steadily, resulting in a ratio of students to teaching faculty exceeding the listed ratio based on the program's full-time teaching load, or if the number of faculty declines due to retirements or resignations, and there are no plans for hiring replacements. Engagement with students is the fourth criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. Planning faculty are expected to be engaged with students in many ways beyond the classroom such as research or professional mentors, advisors, and members of committees for thesis or professional project reports. They also should be providing advice to students related to their job search and career development. Staff members or academic professionals are often employed within the program or college to assist in job placement and career advice. In such cases, the faculty must coordinate with staff to ensure appropriate professional career advice is provided. Challenges in meeting this criterion could be if faculty are not present on campus other than to teach their classes, or if students report difficulty in securing appointments with the faculty. Research, scholarship, and other creative activity is the fifth criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. This criterion addresses the scholarly research, outreach, and other creative aspects of faculty workload. Expectations for research and scholarship vary across universities and planning programs. It is essential to evaluate these based on the university's standards and the program's mission. Faculty workloads must allow for the expected level of research and scholarship, depending on the institution and faculty career stages. Research and creative activities should undergo appropriate peer review, including publications, conference presentations, and professional juries to ensure high standards. The self-study report should outline how faculty productivity is assessed. Challenges to meeting this criterion could be if select faculty have ceased to engage in research and scholarship activities in a research-intensive institution, or if faculty conduct scholarly activities with students in their program, but that work is never published or presented in a scholarly or professional setting. Professional involvement, community outreach, and civic engagement is the sixth criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. Active involvement in the profession and community is crucial for staying current, advancing the field, and meeting societal needs. Faculty participation in national, state, regional, and local organizations, conferences, and workshops provides opportunities to serve and strengthen the profession, while community outreach aligns with the program's mission and strategic goals. Variation among faculty is expected based on expertise, responsibilities, and career stage. Challenges to meeting this criterion could be if faculty conduct little professional work or engage with the community. Inadequate resources exist to allow faculty to attend planning conferences, or none of the faculty in a program is active in the American Planning Association or local planning organizations. Professional development is the seventh and the final criterion within the faculty standard. Please pause the presentation to read this text. All faculty members need to engage in professional development activities to maintain and advance their teaching and research skills. The program must provide opportunities for professional development in teaching, research, leadership, and professional practice, either through financial resources and/or appropriate work assignments, such as sabbatical programs, course releases, etc. These opportunities also include university training on institutional policies, changing student needs, and new instructional technologies. Challenges to meeting this criterion could be if a program has no resources available to permit faculty professional development in areas critical to the program's mission and strategic goals, or if an institution provides no faculty training programs on critical student issues in higher education. This concludes the module for PAB Standard 3, Faculty. On behalf of the PAB board and staff, we want to thank you for completing this module. We invite you now to return to the PAB website to complete training for this module by taking a short quiz about the information in this presentation. You will receive your score on this quiz, and PAB staff will record your results. Thank you.